Dating can be a complicated journey for anyone, but as a Christian, it comes with its own set of challenges. While the Bible provides guidance on many aspects of life, it doesn't necessarily lay out a clear rules for dating. So how do we navigate this world without compromising our faith? In this video, we'll explore the question of how far is too far when dating as a Christian, using biblical reference to guide us. Firstly, let's define what we mean by too far. In general, we're talking about physical intimacy beyond holding hands and innocent affectionate touches. Sexual acts outside of marriage are clearly prohibited in the Bible, so we'll focus on what's permissible within the context of dating. In 1 Corinthians 6:18 through 20, Paul writes, "Flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits, it's outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against its own body. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body." This passage makes it clear that sexual immorality is a serious sin, one that we should avoid at all costs. We are called to honor God with our bodies, recognizing that they are not our own, but rather a gift from Him. Sexual intimacy outside of marriage dishonors both God and our own bodies. Another passage that speaks to this topic is 1 Thessalonians 4:3-5. "For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God." Again, we see that sexual immorality is something we should avoid as Christians. We are called to control our bodies in holiness and honor, rather than giving in to lustful desires. This means that we should avoid any physical activity that could lead us down a path towards sexual sin. So what does this mean for dating? It means that we should be careful not to let our physical interactions with a romantic partner become too intimate. We should be mindful of our boundaries and avoid anything that could lead us towards sexual sin. This might mean refraining from passionate kissing or making out, or avoiding situations where we're alone together in a private setting. Of course, every person and every relationship is different, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer to the question of how far is too far. Some couples may feel comfortable with more physical affection than others, and that's okay. The important thing is that we're constantly checking in with ourselves and with God to ensure that we are not crossing any lines that could lead us into sin. In Matthew 5:27-28, Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery,' but I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart." This passage reminds us that sin starts in the heart. Even if we haven't physically crossed any boundaries, if our thoughts and desires are focused on sexual gratification rather than on honoring God, we're already in a dangerous place. This is why it's so important to guard our hearts and minds, and to seek accountability and support from trusted friends and mentors as we navigate the world of dating. Ultimately, the question of how far is too far when dating as a Christian is one that each of us must answer for ourselves. We should prayerfully consider our own boundaries and seek to honor God in all that we do. While the Bible doesn't provide a clear-cut answer, it does provide us with guidance and principles that can help us navigate this complex and sometimes confusing area of our lives. One important thing to remember is that physical intimacy is just one aspect of a relationship. While it's certainly an important one, it's not the only thing that matters. As Christians, we're called to pursue relationships that are grounded in love, respect, and mutual understanding. In Ephesians 5:25-28, Paul writes, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself." While this passage is especially addressing the relationship between a husband and wife, it provides valuable insight into what a healthy and God-honoring relationship should look like. Love, sacrifice, and a deep commitment to the other person's well-being are all essential components of a successful relationship. As we navigate the world of dating, we should keep these principles in mind. We should be seeking out relationships that are grounded in love, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to honoring God. And we should be careful not to let our physical desires cloud our judgment or lead us into sin. The question of how far is too far when dating as a Christian is a complex and deeply personal one. While the Bible provides us with guidance and principles to follow, ultimately it's up to each of us to prayerfully discern our own boundaries and seek to honor God in all that we do. We should be mindful of the potential dangers of physical intimacy outside of marriage and seek out relationships that are grounded in love, respect, and shared commitment to honoring God. With prayer, discernment, and a willingness to seek accountability and support, we can navigate the world of dating as Christians with grace, wisdom, and integrity. Brothers and sisters, may God bless you, and may the Lord give you a heavenly mindset.